We're back on Wake Up Today. It is 6:39 on this Monday morning, President's Day. Critical to our nation's capital right now. Lots of important things being taken up by Congress. We welcome in a U.S. Senator, Mazie Hirono, from the great state of Hawaii.
Home.
I was going to say, yeah, probably is. So
It is.
Even if you are a senator, it's always nice to come back to where you call home. What's the most important thing right now? We have heard a number of things, and right now it's February 18th. That means March is quickly approaching.
March 1st, yes.
March 1st is an important day.
Yes.
Why?
Because sequester kicks in and these huge meat acts across the board cuts will occur. And before I came home to Hawaii, the Senate Democrats proposed a more balanced way as an alternative to sequestration, but the Republicans are still totally committed to let's just cut. And that is not the way to deal with
When we
this
say
crisis.
cut, what could that mean to Hawaii? Because this will have a direct impact on local people. This is not just a Washington problem.
Well, sequester will mean that there will be thousands and thousands of people who work for the Department of Defense, for example, who will probably have to be furloughed. So that's going to be a big hit. There will be huge cuts to the defense side of things, and Hawaii being, the defense being such a big part of our economy will be hit. But it's not just the defense side. It's every program that has federal dollars coming to Hawaii will be affected. So, for example, our airports, TSA agents, we have ag inspectors, Head Start, every program. And that's why there should be an alternative to sequester, which we presented, and sadly the Republicans said no, we just want to cut. We're not doing a balanced
Are Democrats willing to cut some things?
Yes,
if Republicans are wanting to cut.
Our proposal was 50% cuts and 50% from revenues.
Do you think you can find common ground on this? Because it sounds
hopeful.
as if it will be pretty critical for...
I think Speaker Boehner on the House side is having real trouble getting his caucus, the Republicans, to come together, and that's why he's just kicking the ball to the Senate, saying when the Senate passes something, we'll deal with it. It's been the House particularly that's been a real challenge for moving these kinds of issues. And of course, Jai, we're facing immigration reform.
That was another thing I was going to talk about. Where we stand on that, because immigration reform, something needs to be done.
Yes.
And this again seems to be that we have two very different camps. How can we find some sort of common ground?
There is agreement, though, among the Democrats and Republicans that this is a broken system.
Okay.
So with 11 million people who are undocumented, living in the shadows, with all of the other issues, I think there's some common ground there. And as you may know, on the Senate, there's a group of Republicans and Democratic senators who have laid out some parameters for comprehensive immigration reform. And last week we had the first huge hearing on immigration. And one of the areas that I really focused on was the need to keep family reunification as a major part of any immigration reform. For Hawaii, that means a lot. And I mentioned the fact that Filipino World War II veterans are still waiting to be reunited with their children, decades.
And I would imagine that's an important topic for you, someone who obviously migrated to the United States of America.
That's right.
Real quickly, gun control. That's been sort of front and center, especially with the tragedy in Connecticut.
Yes.
Where do we stand on that and what the president has laid forth?
But I'm also hopeful that we'll be able to close some of the major loopholes on gun control. For example, background checks. We already require background checks, but there's some loopholes. Depending on where you buy your guns, from whom you buy your guns, you don't need to have your background check.
Because when it's an individual person, they don't need to do it.
Or gun shows.
Okay.
Shows.
You go to a gun shop,
yes,
it's needed.
Yes, and so that loophole should be closed. Also, there's a lot of gun trafficking in our country where somebody will buy guns and resell it. That's called gun trafficking. We should close that huge loophole. And assault weapons. It's going to be a little harder because the definition of what an assault weapon is, it's not that easy to come up with a really clear definition. But as the president says, Sandy Hook in Connecticut was really the worst day of his presidency in terms of just the tragedy of these children being killed. And so he's gone to the people. Well, mainly the people are saying we should have comprehensive immigration reform, we should have gun control, and for our country, we should get on with sequestration and alternative to it. So those are the things that are occupying my time.
You guys will be back in session come this next Monday, right? 1 week from
Monday, yes. And I'm hopeful that on Tuesday we will have a new U.S. Secretary of Defense because we need him in place right now.
Keep us updated.
I will.
Thank you, Senator Hirono. We appreciate that.
Aloha.
It is President's Day.